night before party, and I got another special next to me.
Look,
Jason
hey
from
guys.
Sirius XM. You interviewed me a few times, I think, over the years. I'd be hosting.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Well, you got the Striker Texas has the set up at the AO party. Yeah. So
we got a host. So
Here
no, it's fun to have everybody here, and Jason, as you said, this is your first time in Austin, right? And
First time in Austin.
You've been watching, these new cities pop up into the Austin, into the soccer landscape. What are you looking for? Like, what do you feel about the vibe of Austin in general with the city, but also as a soccer city? Like, what have you thought of, watching a few games this year and stuff?
Everything I've heard about Austin is good, right? Austin is a unique place, and I always wanted to visit Austin beyond soccer. Now I have an excuse because of soccer. Somebody will pay me to be here, which is always a good thing. I think, if we're talking about the U.S. national teams, but specifically what's going to happen tomorrow night, there's a lot of pressure on Austin City. Incredible impression on MLS and on people around the country. Been watching the games and seeing the IQ2, and it's off the charts. And every
The folks that are pretty passionate here, but to think 3 or 4 or 5 years ago we'd be sitting here with you guys and everybody that sort of come here to Austin this week. It's a moment for and I think just I'm sure it's always fun for you guys to get more new and to just explore.
I mean, right? You're for a little while, you've been for a long time, right?
Yeah, since '94. Yeah.
We could talk about, because it doesn't feel that long ago that we were talking about the Aztecs in Orlando.
Right, yeah.
And people freaking out about that. And I would have people on my show, my podcast, talking about how unfair it was. It took the team from Austin, and it looked like big time soccer in Austin never going to happen. And say what you want about Anthony Precourt and people in Columbus.
You have.
Yeah, I'm sure I have too. We can go.
Sure.
There is obviously something here, and he saw it, and for whatever reason he wanted to be here, it's worked out so far. And there's pressure to continue that momentum, and Austin FC needs to slowly better.
Right on the field for sure.
Right now, it's not good, but
people here have noticed. Yeah,
I think everybody is willing to give the team a pass for. Then you. To a point where, okay, I say this all the time on my radio show, like there's a test that comes for every new team, and it's a transition. It's a big moment. And for Austin, they have to build from zero, be competitive. They don't have to be Atlanta, they don't have to be LAFC, but you've got to get there. You don't want to be Cincinnati, right? Nobody wants to be Cincinnati right now. So things have to happen, but everything right now, why criticize anything that's happening in Austin, Texas?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, like that the owners have aspirations to be Austin, to be LAFC, or to be Atlanta, to be LAFC, kind of from the get go, and that hasn't quite happened in the first year. But the thing that I kind of keep coming back to is, fans are like they're doing a job in the stadium, in the atmosphere. So yeah, I want to talk about that, like kind of what you're noticing specifically, like kind of what you're hearing.
I mean, look, it's hard to create an authentic feeling atmosphere from the very beginning, and this was really weird about how the culture of American sports coincides with soccer. And a lot of times what we see are new fan bases chasing the idea of being as European as possible or as South American as possible. And really the measure of a new fan base particularly is, does it feel like it belongs in that town, that it's not aping something else, that it's not copying something they saw on television. And so far, it's not that long talking about the song sheet. That Austin, it actually happened before you far. It feels like Austin has an authentic atmosphere built. People who love the sport or are coming to the games for whatever reason in Austin. There may be a lot of new soccer fans in that building. I imagine there are. And being loud and supporting your team no matter what, that's how you judge soccer fans.
Yeah, totally. And one of the cool parts about the Austin fan base that we're going to find out tomorrow how much of a difference it makes is that a lot of people that are creating culture inside the Verde, they're not U.S. men's national team fans, right? So,
some are actually Mexico fans. As it turns out.
A lot of them are.
And that's obviously the division between color and country. We're going to
I think it's really cool in Austin that they've been able to sort of bridge that and to have that atmosphere. But I think it's going to be really cool to see these folks that are behind us kind of take over and put their own spin on what that sounds like inside that stadium, because it does get loud and it can be an intimidating atmosphere. But it takes all the people pulling in the same direction to do that. I mean, so it's going to be tomorrow night's going to be a big test. And like you said, there's a lot of pressure. I think that the front office and everything, they do feel that pressure. It's all on the field, but they really want to feel it's the national team.
Yeah, it's unfair because if the team goes out and plays poorly and loses to Jamaica, which, let's all pray that doesn't happen, then it will on some level be laid at Austin's feet, which is not, I'm going to go on the radio and say, well, it's not Austin's fault lost. It's because the team played poorly, because Berhalter made choices that we don't agree with, whatever they might be. So I don't think it's fair, but there will be a stigma attached. And Columbus is reckoning that. They lost the Mexico game. They still have one because Coach will be there next week, but they have Mexico, and we're going to see what Austin brings, because they don't have any history to build upon. And I had a discussion a little while ago with somebody in AO who said, people
that looks like. Last thing I'll leave you with, Jason, because I want to let you get back to the night and all the fun festivities we got going on here. Ball rolls out tomorrow night. Where does your eye go? What's the matchup? Who do you have your eye on? Who are you most interested to see tomorrow night for the U.S. national team?
So, Jamaica will Michael Antonio after he out. They still have weapons. They still are dangerous. They still are athletic, and they will challenge you. And it's not that I was as high on John Brooks to have him experience trade, right? And Miles Robinson has been extremely impressive, and I love that kid. And I think it's going to be Chris Richards. Who knows?
Miles' parents are here too, by the way.
Okay, well there you go. I think it's going to be Chris Richards. He did those 3 games in September. He didn't play at all for him leading into this one. He's going to get in cold if he starts. So I want to see how Richards and Robinson respond to the challenge that Jamaica's attack is going to pose. And the U.S. should have more of the ball. And if the U.S. is dangerous, that takes a lot of pressure off the center backs. But they're going to have to, they're also going to have the apps to do things with the ball at their feet as much as Berhalter's. Don't want Tyler Adams sitting back there trying to orchestrate. It's going to have to go past him, get to those midfielders, get to that front line. So Robinson and Richards, those are the guys.
Yep.
Okay, so Pepe or Zardes?
Tomorrow, Pepe, I think. I want Zardes. I think Zardes needs to play in terms of the whole picture of flying, and I do trust him. Maybe in some fans still not sure about Jesse Zardes. I think he's still.
Panama seems a good place for him.
I think Panama is a good place for him. I think Pepe could handle that. He obviously handled Honduras, right? Sure. But I think it goes Pepe, Zardes, see how things feel going into the Costa Rica game.
Sure.
So, do you think we maybe see Walker tomorrow night?
I don't know, because then we're talking about maybe a 3 center back system or something like that.
Walker versus Richards.
I think it's Richards over Walker, because Walker Zimmerman is a replacement guy who can't be here.
Right.
He wasn't a first choice player in the. Now Berhalter has done that before, where a guy who wasn't on his original starts.
Yeah, lean on an MLS guy.
But I think you need I think you need an athleticism that Richards and Robinson provide that
For sure,
Zimmerman's not quite at the same level.
We know all about chaotic center back pair Q2 Stadium, so hopefully we don't get to that tomorrow. Jason, thanks so much for joining. For everybody that's watching, obviously check us out on the StrikerTexas.com. We'll have wall-to-wall coverage. I'll be actually in Columbus next week as well for that match, and get 30% off with the promo code AO Austin, and we'll be back with some more fun guests. We'll see who we can bring in here for us. And Jason, before we let you go, why don't you plug for us what you do?
Sirius XM 12 to 3 Eastern time. So let me adjust. That's 11 to 2 for you people here in Austin. Channel 150 Signups XM. We have trials on that. It's great soccer channel that covers the game around the world. I do an American soccer show because that's what I love. You can also check out the Best Soccer Show, which is a podcast I host with my very good friend Jared Dubois. We've been doing that for a decade now. A little break in between, but we've been doing it for a decade now, and that's a good place to find me as well.
Yeah, so we know about soccer fire hoses, so if you need one, Sirius XM is a good place, and Striker Texas is a good place.
100%. And some people dream in Spanish, some people dream in Jason Davis's voice. That's the OG American soccer culture there. So we'll be back with more, and thanks so much for tuning in, and come by and say hi if you're at Haymaker.
Say hi to him.